Arcade Heroes.
Greetings, gamers, operators, and anybody else who happens to watch this channel. This is Adam with ArcadeHeroes.com, and from the latest story that's on the site, we have some news on a new Sega arcade game that will be launching here in about a little over a week. Now, before I get into that, let me mention the event where it's going to be launching. I often have to do this, so sorry if anybody's a regular watcher and I keep explaining this, but there's a lot of people that don't know what IAAPA is. It's a trade show that happens the third week of November generally. It's always the week before Thanksgiving, and it's kind of like the arcade industry's E3, and because of that, it's where we get most of the new game announcements for this type of industry every year. Now, there are some other trade shows throughout the year. In fact, there's quite a few. It's just none are as large as IAAPA, and so that's why so many game developers like Sega and others wait until IAAPA to unveil the games that they will be producing and launching into 2024. And so the game that we are going to be discussing today, funny enough, the game actually, I wrote a story about it yesterday thanks to Ted on the Arcade Heroes Discord, who had found this Instagram reel from a location in the UK called Funbox Wandsworth, and he also was able to come up with this image that was showing this game called Apex Rebels on test. And just from this image that we could see here, there's this logo in the center. This is for a company called Three Mind Wave. Now, who is Three Mind Wave, you might be asking? Well, they are kind of like a first-party developer for Sega Amusements, where their very first game was this one called ATV Slam, which I have video of this on my channel from when this launched back in 2019, and you might have seen it out there, might have played it. Other games that they've done include the Jumanji Redemption game that Sega currently sells. Last year they introduced Storm Rider 2, which is a motorcycle racing game. I believe it uses Unreal Engine 4, not 5. And then there's also one that's, I've seen a few out there talk about, Retro Ralph being one of them. That's a VR Agent, where they brought the first-person shooter back to the arcade space using this VR tech welded to a gun, essentially. So this game, Apex Rebels, that's their logo. This was seen on test over in the UK. But then today, this morning, Sega Amusements sent out a press release as well as some additional information on this game and said that it will be at IAAPA. And so from all the stuff that I had been reading about what's coming to IAAPA, I hadn't seen this mentioned at all. And so that's where, when I wrote the story yesterday, I wasn't sure if it would be, but it is confirmed that this will be a game that debuts at Sega's booth and will likely be a headlining attraction. Now, again, because of that, I wasn't really expecting this at all, and they have another game that they actually have a few games that they're going to release at the expo, including Hypercross, which is a snowmobile racing game, and they have a new Redemption game called Zombies Ready Deady Go, and it's like a derby race style game, but I'll need to see that one in action. But anyways, Apex Rebels. So taking a good look at this cabinet here, some of the back does remind me a little bit of the Cruise and Blast, particularly with the tires and the LEDs that are in the tires, and just the way that the seats are molded. These are on a motion base. The press release mentioned a pneumatic motion base, which is a little bit surprising in that in recent years, most systems have used this air bladder system, where they have these rubber bladders underneath the base, and those will just inflate or deflate depending on what's needed to create the motion base. But I haven't heard of using pneumatics in a while. Interesting that they have these carbon fiber-like, maybe they are actually carbon fiber, shells here on the back as well. For the top marquee, as you can probably tell, this is a dynamic marquee. It's not just a piece of art printed on, well, just vinyl or plexiglass or glass or anything. It's actually an LED, a micro LED billboard. And so we've seen this before. There is NFS Heat Takedown by Adrenaline Amusements, who introduced that last year with their game. But this one doesn't do it in, it's quite as tall, but it is a little bit wider. Now, one thing you also might notice that between the test video that we saw, or the image that did not have that LED billboard on it, and the screens were much smaller. I was guessing 43 to 47 inch, but these screens are 65 inch. I'd assume 4K. Pretty much everything's 4K these days. Another thing I noticed on the control panel, but it's not mentioned in the press release, is this little lever here, which might be a kind of a stick shifter. It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, yeah, there also links up to 4 at least, and it has the different colors. Now, whether or not operators will be able to pick the color, I don't know. I know with raw thrills, they don't allow you to pick the color because it's just too big of a headache at the factory to try and figure that out, just to the way that distribution works in the industry. But for the game itself, it mentions, well, I'll just read the press release, which I posted in here. So we have Apex Rebels, fill every turn, conquer the Apex. Get ready to unleash your inner racer with Apex Rebels. Brought to you by the leaders in top-performing entertainment games, Sega Amusements. This product brings you a heart-pounding video motion game that's a must-have for arcade, FEC, and entertainment operators, delivering a racing experience like no other. So racers, start your engines and prepare for the race of a lifetime. Be one of the first to experience this incredible game at the global launch event on Sega Amusements by Kaizen Entertainment's booth 1006 at IAAPA from November 14th to the 17th at the Orlando County Convention Center in Florida. Apex Rebels is designed to cater to both casual and core players. I should be reading this part in a southern accent. I know the guy who said this, Marty Smith, the USA sales manager at Sega, but I won't try that. He could do it perfectly. That Apex Rebels is designed to cater to both casual and core players. Its intelligent adaptive difficulty system ensures that everyone can have a blast, while seasoned racers will find ample challenges in the game's intelligent race mechanics. Apex Racing is all about igniting your racing spirit, encouraging you to keep coming back for more. You've got to try it out at the show. Marty's a great guy, and so I'll see him there. Maybe I'll get him on camera talking about it. Don't know. With 5 high-octane race cars to choose from, players have the power to control their racing destiny on the track. Like how that's written. It is your destiny. Players kickstart their journey by passing through one of 3 checkpoints that will determine the driving route best suited for their racing style. Passing through progressive checkpoints gives speed boosts and unlocks advanced skills like slipstream, power drifts, and aero drifts. Aero drift is a groundbreaking technique that raises the car, allowing players to race through corners at blazing speeds, effortlessly overtaking their rivals. Every aspect of gameplay is designed to be thrilling and encourages a competitive spirit that sees players take down their rivals and jump into slipstreams to earn an extra boost, giving them an edge to seize victory. Reading about those skills, or which you could maybe also call perks, I'm almost wondering if they might function like in F-Zero 99, where when you get, I can't remember what it's called exactly, but there is this boost mechanic where you go above the track and then you can just pass by some of the racers. I suck at F-Zero 99, by the way, but it still is fun. So I'm kind of wondering about that, just hearing it mention, an aero drift, raising the car maybe above the track, or I don't know. But also that you can take down your rivals, as it mentions here, so I guess there must be some kind of mechanic of smashing into other cars and maybe watching them explode, which is always a lot of fun. And so, in some ways, this game is feeling like an answer to all of the other arcade racing games that are out there, like Fast and Furious Arcade, NFS Heat Takedown. Gosh, I was thinking of another one that was just on the tip of my tongue. There's Dead Heat Unleashed. There's Asphalt 9 Legends Arcade. And so, yeah, there's been quite a few more traditional racers. And Sega last year, instead of going the traditional racer route, they launched Drone Racing Genesis, which was a unique twist on the whole idea of a racing game, but it doesn't seem to have caught fire like a lot of these other more traditional racing games have. But anyways, back to the press release. The stunning cabinet of Apex Rebels is a showstopper in its own right. With a souped-up race car design, vibrant LED lighting, and eye-catching race liveries, it's sure to turn heads at any location. The massive 65-inch LED monitor and the huge panoramic LED video billboard displays the leaderboard and track map, encouraging spectators to get in on the action and cheer on their favorite racers. Get ready to experience every bump, twist, and turn with the pneumatic motion base. With the power of Unreal Engine 5, Apex Rebels delivers stunning graphics. The steering wheel's force feedback combined with a real physics engine provides an authentic sense of control in real time. I like how that's worded to just say it drives like a car. Or I'm sure it doesn't drive exactly like a car. It's arcade physics are always different. All these elements come together to deliver an unparalleled level of immersion that keeps players coming back for more. Apex Rebels is consistently a top video game on location, beating its closest rivals by a healthy margin. The reception to the game has been phenomenal, a testament to the game's intelligent race mechanics and stunning cabinet presentation that encourages social racing. Every aspect of the game indicates it's high-quality, high-value entertainment, and with returns to support, is a must-have product for locations worldwide, concluded Justin Burke, sales director at Sega Amusements. So race down to Sega Amusements by Kaizen Entertainment's booth 1006 at IAAPA and discover how Apex Rebels can help you outpace your competition by delivering exceptional racing experiences to your guests. At the booth, you will be greeted by our friendly team and a range of top-performing video, redemption prize, and socially competitive games, all designed to turbocharge your business. And so that's mainly for people like myself who operate an arcade, but I'm sure for gamers out there who will be going out to pump tokens or swipe cards into this game, that's where I'm sure there's plenty of details there that interested you. So I would love to hear what you think about this one. I will be filming it at IAAPA. I will be at IAAPA, of course, unless something horrendous happens in the next week. Hopefully not. I shouldn't curse myself. But I will try and also film each track that's available. That's one thing that I'm kind of wondering about here is like how many cars do you get to choose from, how many tracks are there total. I always hate it when there's only like 2 or 3 or 5. It's nice when you have more of a selection, but at the same time I understand having too many tracks means more development costs and makes the games more expensive. I do not know how much this one will cost. I am curious about that. One thing I've complained about on the blog, on these vlogs, is that the cost of arcade games is just absolutely skyrocketed, and that's mainly due to inflation, but there's also been the shipping problems that have existed for the past 3 years. And I just read news that a major shipping company just laid off 10,000 people, which is also likely going to cause pretty substantial ripple effects, economically speaking. But anyways, just when you see a game that's 65-inch and it has a motion base, it's like this can't be less than $20,000. It may even be over $30,000 per cabinet. I'm hoping not. I mean, the Fast and Furious arcade, the deluxe version that's out there that launched last year with 2 65-inch 4K screens and a motion base, that's $25,000 per cabinet. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this is somewhere pretty close to that. It's just what I'm hoping for is that there will be a standard version, and that's what this test version looks like. Although to a degree, the stuff on the sides reminded me of Initial D. At first, when I saw this, I was all like, is this something that was kitted out into an old Initial D cabinet? Which might have been the case. I mean, test stuff you never should judge as being the final product, because as you can see here, it often varies wildly from that. But yeah, I'll be there to play it, get some thoughts on it, film it, and all that. If you have anything that you want me to specifically focus on or any questions you want me to ask the Sega staff, please feel free to comment below, and I will make sure that gets asked or filmed. But what do you think about this one? Until then, let me know, and we'll see you soon. And please stay tuned to the site and this channel. This is going to be the busiest time of year for both of those entities, as there's a lot of stuff coming along. I just ran a story about Wallop and their IAAPA lineup. I also just got an email from Touch Magics talking about their IAAPA lineup. I've been waiting on a bunch of stuff from Raw Thrills. They do have 3 new products that are going to be launching at IAAPA, but I guess maybe they just want to wait until the last minute to discuss those. But there's a lot of information out there, and oftentimes the issue is that there's so much that people miss a lot of things. And so even though I'll be talking about a brand new game that's launching now, months later I could be coming across somebody saying, hey, I just heard about this. And so, yeah, it's a busy time for arcade machines. But, yeah, we'll get them all covered. But thank you for watching this one, and we'll catch you on the next video.